All right, next day at the Outfits garage. We're outside here and inspecting, I guess you can say. But we're going to talk to Mr. Matthew here about his heat race win and what he thought about that. Begin with, what do you think, Matthew?
I think the car was pretty good. The track was hooked up. You could just hammer it, and I don't know. I started in the front row, so that helped. But of course, I don't know. I had a good car, and I don't know. We had a decent car for the feature, but the track had changed because there's so much racing on it. It turned slick, so it was a little different. I couldn't drive quite the same, but I was getting better. And then, this happened.
Yeah, this happened. Y'all seen what happened. I mean, it's just racing. Stuff like that's going to happen, and we can point fingers and say he did this or they did that or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just racing. But everybody's fighting for the same real estate, and it's discouraging, frustrating. Have a really good car battling for the lead, and then this happens. So you say, well, it just tore the bottom of the nose piece off. Yeah, it did. But also got the radiator, tore the radiator mount out. As you can see right there, it packed it all up in there. Right there is where the center of his nose piece hit, or his bumper. His bumper didn't even meet up with our bumper, which probably saved us a bumper. But the nose piece, that's superficial. Not worried about that. But we've got to come in and start rebuilding. As you can see, the fan shroud is all kicked up, turned. The fan is wedged down in here. As you can see right here, the radiator's packed in around the steering sector. So, now needless to say, that's the reason why we got shoved off last night, pushed in the pits. So, car was good, as Matthew was saying. Looked really good. I was really excited about it. It looked as good as it ever had, and this is probably as good a car as anybody's out there. And the 11 car that was leading wound up spinning out on like the last lap or two, and the 22 car, the boy that took our lane away from us and caused Matthew to have to check up real hard and lost control, he wound up going on to win it. So yeah, that was kind of frustrating, because if that hadn't happened, that could have been us in that spot. And but woulda, coulda, shouldas is don't pay nothing. So we got to take what we're dealt and keep on hammering. That's all I know. Keep a hammering, as the old saying is. And but anyhow, we gotta get this thing torn apart where we can even get it unloaded. But we're gonna try to get it tore apart and start rebuilding. But we'll try to show some of that as we go. Try to figure out what we're gonna do from here on out. So we're kind of in a pickle on everything. Every rig we got's tore up. So we did get the little white car going, and that little car, it's ride and drive now. So luckily we have something to drive. So anyway, but enough of that. But this car here is it's not hurt. We just got to build a new radiator support. And once we get the radiator support built, then we can put a radiator back in it, and We've already located one of them. I think they're about $200. So Greer Racing Fuel and Parts and Fuel, whatever, has already contacted me this morning and said they seen all what happened, and they knew that we done all we could do in that situation. So but they was willing to jump and help, and if we was going to try to get it fixed for tonight, and we really appreciate Justin for that. Justin Greer Racing Parts and Fuel. He said, just come get this radiator and we'll settle up later. He said, just get it where you can go race, but it's going to take a little bit more than what we got and just in the radiator. We've got to pull the transmission out of it and put a throwout bearing in it. The throwout bearing all of a sudden just started going bad. So, you know, when it rains, it pours, guys, and sometimes it comes a flood. But anyhow, motor's still good. I ain't gonna brag on it, but it's still running. So every time I brag on anything, it goes to pot. So anyway, just wanted to give y'all an update on what happened last night. Matthew did a really good job in the heat and did a really good job in the feature until the accident happened. So, and he done all he could do there. So, but it is what it is. That's called racing. So, and dirt track racing at that. So, hey, at least we didn't tear up as much as Quincy. Mm-hmm. That poor feller, he got a guy spun out in front of him, Quincy Brooks. Guy spun out in front of him, and he T-boned him in the heat race and wiped the radiator out and the nose and all of that. Well, his dad was going to run a car for the feature, he usually does, and so he just backed out and let Quincy run that car for the feature. And Quincy's actually the guy that met here. It wasn't none of Quincy's fault. He was trying to get stopped, but it wound up wiping the front of his car out too. So I hate it for them, and there's a couple other cars got tied up in that deal, and I hate it for everybody, but I hate it more for us. We've had a rough year of it, and but hey, it don't always stay this way. When you just, I mean, a person can either give up or they can keep hammering. And when you keep hammering, sooner or later it's going to come around. And if your pocketbooks can hold out. So, but anyway, I'm gonna give you another video here real soon on an update on my truck. I've got some good news on that. So really excited about that, and really excited about some more news that I'm going to share in a later date. But it's going to be here pretty quick in the next couple 3 days. But along with this news on my pickup, it's going to still yet be a lot of work, but I've got some good news on it. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna let Matthew sign us out here, and but anyway, Russell here, saying God bless you.
Matthew, God bless you. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep hammering, guys.
All right.